upset that game because in both cases, so we had a Mercy and I mirrored both people on the first and second round.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I was against them, they had a Mercy pocket, and our Mercy was just off doing somebody else. So I was fighting the Echo pocketed Mercy. Most of the time, if I recall, I think I won.
Mm-hmm.
But then they would just get like rezzed, and then I was forced out. But like our Mercy was just doing hanky dory.
Yep. Alright, just sent the link. Let me know when you get in. And then I'll just mute my mic in Discord so that way it'll be easier. You don't have to mute me. Okay. So, like I mentioned, I think positioning was one of the big things. And then I have 2 points that I want to talk about throughout the VOD. Is positioning specifically on Ashe. I mean, I feel like it's easy to get out of position on Echo, so I don't think you were really out of position very much. And then target priority with the next one, and that one we'll talk about on Echo and Ashe, I think, but more so Echo. All right. So, like as we went on here, you know, you're doing good damage. It was all really good. The one thing I noticed here, like kind of at the beginning, and I think it happened a little bit in overtime as well, was you're just kind of playing a little bit in the open here against Ashe. So like I know that the Ashe had died and she got rezzed, but I feel like especially on PC it's a little bit easier to aim on Hanzo as well. So I think just playing like on this left side like this, not much cover, it's going to be a little iffy sometimes against like a hit scan, against like a Kiriko, you know, Orisa, Hanzo, like that sort of stuff. But you do want to get over to this left side when you can. Just maybe like let the cart get up a little bit further first, and then try to get up to this left side, and then play. Like, you end up playing on that left high ground, which is great. Like that's what you want to do. One thing I noticed quite a bit throughout this VOD is, so you go for like the beam usage on like the D.Va and the Orisa a lot, and that's completely fine, but you got to make sure it's whenever they don't have armor, because if you're ever going against any character with armor, the beam's just fucking basically useless. So it's so bad. But your beam usage was pretty damn good throughout the rest, just on D.Va and Orisa. This is all good. I like the poke damage. So like right here. So this is good that you're like pressuring that Orisa with the beam, right? But it's so hard to kill her if she gets any support there whatsoever. Like that beam just like becomes useless. You're better off just shooting her in that until she's not gold and like not using the armor. Which is contradictory, but it's just because she has the armor, the beam isn't as good. This was all really good. You guys are staggering kills. Awesome. Good first copy. Honestly, so like your D.Va needed to stay in. This is definitely partially on your D.Va here for not staying in. But I would say like try to get out as soon as possible here on the D.Va while trying to, you know, maybe try and build that ult. It's going to be hard for you to get out if you don't, because if they just finish you like they should, and I'm pretty sure they do, it's just going to be hard for them to not be able to have a free shot on you as the Echo.
I did notice that when I was up.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm getting demeched, and like
that's instinct. I get it. Yeah. No, that's completely understandable. I do think that though, so like this was good here where you pushed the Ashe. Again, I think it would have been nice if you backed up a little bit so your team could maybe help and you could have gotten a bomb potentially. That would have been hard. Like again, your D.Va should have stayed in. I don't know why she backed so far away, but I think that like when talking about the target priority, like I said on the Echo, like you'll want to watch for. I'll give like a better example later, like when there's like a tank you don't want to be shooting at. But on the copies a lot, I noticed you were shooting at the tank, and I think like it's probably like, oh, I want to build ult, and I get that, but you still could be getting a lot of value by pressuring out like a DPS while that's going on, you know, even if you don't get the ult, since like, you know, it's harder to build the ult with Echo copy now. It's a good remake. See, like right here, this is like really good, right? But it became like a little bit of a struggle to push you out. Like if those players are better, like you probably should have died there. You know what I mean? Like the Ashe, you had great focus on too. That was great. But like the fact that D.Va, Ashe, and you know the other three like couldn't kill you in that's crazy. Like they're just some stinkers for that one. Good focus on Akiri. Nice stickies too. It's good to not get them eaten. This was close. That happens to me all the time. Calculated though. Good try on that. So like right there, that's kind of a target priority thing, right? So like you were able to kill that Echo, right? If you just hit like all of the beam, which would have been great, right? You did most of the things right. But if you go for the Mercy there instead of the Echo, you know, she definitely dies because she's already low there. She dies sooner than this, and you then might be able to kill the Echo with the help of your team as well. So you just want to like be looking for that, like that. You still may have died and everything, but that Mercy definitely could have died, and you guys might have been able to get Echo too. Good stickies. It's kind of crazy she didn't die to that, honestly. She was low enough. I thought she would have... Good job avoiding bomb here. It was incredible your team didn't survive the bomb. So this coming copy, I think was fine. I'll explain as it's going on, but I want to say first why. So I like it because this is a turnable fight. It's good to ult this. Your Mercy's pretty low, I think, when you copy that. I don't remember exactly what her health was. Whenever she's, like, knowing that the situation's close, it's like a 3v3, you're copying so you can, you know, maybe turn this fight, which is good. Look to try and help your Mercy right away, because I think you could have probably helped her out and really turned the fight with that. Nice focus onto the, what's it called? It would have been tough. I don't think you could have saved her, but I think if you maybe copied sooner, you might have been able to save her. Like that's the tough thing, is like it's hard to, you know, think what would have happened, but I think a little bit of a copy there earlier, you might be able to get her. You know what I mean? And then definitely right here too, like another thing, focus onto that Ashe as soon as you can. Don't worry about like D.Va. Oh, almost a remake kill. That would have been sick. Would have been a really nice remake kill. You could maybe turned it still. Similarly, watch with shooting the stickies into D.Va and stuff. You kind of want to like, this is kind of a target priority thing. You want to kind of think of people that you really can get value on with the stickies. If there's no one else, yeah, shoot them at D.Va, obviously. But if there's a target like, you know, like an Ashe or like an Echo that isn't currently being pocketed, or like, you know, either of the supports, mainly the Mercy in this scenario, like they're going to be really high value targets for those stickies if you're hitting them. And you just gotta, like, you know, be careful like shooting them into D.Va, because of how good the stickies are. Like, you always want to be getting as much value as you can out of them. This is unfortunate. Your support sold you. That res was a decision. I'm not sure what she was doing.
Like I said, the Mercy made me question it.
Yeah. Yeah, that res was questionable. Be wary of just staggering yourself. That wasn't a real bad stagger, but I think there's another one later on that's kind of a stagger too. D.Va staggered as well, though. I don't know. It's crazy. The whole thing was crazy. At least they wasted Bob, you know? That's cool. Big kill on Echo. Nice focus beam. It's unfortunate. I like that you took that off angle on the left there, though. That was a good way to engage. I think Mercy maybe could have died sooner on that, but it is what it is. It's not a big problem. That's another one where, you know, like, even if D.Va's half health there, like, with the double pocket, it's going to be hard to get her out of that. It's unfortunate. So yeah, like this right here on this copy, I get why you're shooting at the D.Va, because you want to build ult. Like that's one of the big things with, you know, the Echo ult. But as soon as you copy her, like I'm instantly turning around and looking for Asher Mercy. Like if that like worst case scenario, you get demeched because you've pushed them out of the fight. Your team now gets to push forward a little bit more. Your Mercy gets a free res, and that D.Va has to push into, you know, you from behind, or you're just completely taking 3 people out of the fight. You know what I mean? Best case scenario, you know, the D.Va doesn't follow you. She keeps you know, sitting here shooting at your supports. She's already low to begin with. They're like, nothing's gonna happen out of that. And you know, you get free value onto these 3. Sorry, I went off of you. That was amazing. This bomb got 2 kills. Kiriko should not have died of that. She was a dummy. Good focus on the Mercy. Almost had her, but she dies anyway. That's huge. Focus onto the last player. All good. It's all great. I think here you should probably push up with your D.Va so they don't even get an attempt at a touch. They end up wasting Bob, and you guys just melt that, which is great. But you guys maybe get some staggers here if you and D.Va push up, and then like your Bastion gets in range to start shooting stuff. This is unfortunate. Again, your D.Va just didn't push up with you here. Like, obviously try to be aware of that, but like you're not making a bad play with that. Like, she just needs to go. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. That was a really dumb play from her. I like this chase onto the Echo here. This is a really good idea. I don't remember if you get the kill or not. Yeah, you do. Yeah, that was a really good idea. Similarly here, so like, just see that like the armor, like you'll never be able to out damage that. Like if she has no armor left, you absolutely can out damage their healing with like a little bit of help from your teammates. But it's just, it's unfortunate, like the armor completely negates the beam. See how much faster you just melted her without the armor? Crazy, she just almost died.
Focus beam tanks until they are half health.
Yeah.
But because they were hitting so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in that scenario, just let her waste her DM, and at that point, like, you know, by that point you should hopefully have your stickies back. You can just shoot your stickies into her or the supports, and your D.Va should push again. Like this D.Va's done some terrible stuff, so I don't know, but your D.Va should push with that. And like if she has no matrix, and then you guys should be able to get her low enough to where she is like beamable, you know. And then good finish up on everyone. That was all good. Yeah, solid first round. I would just think that like the target priority, make sure you're not looking for the D.Va as much as, you know, you're looking for supports and stuff. And like that little off angle you took was nice because it gave you like a free entry onto their supports, that kind of stuff. So on the Ashe here, I don't mind. Sorry, I interrupted you.
My boss Katya is being difficult lately. What do you advise?
Always say what you believe.
Positioning wise, I don't think you could have been like way better, right? I think. Oh, getting a call real quick. 1 second. Let me hang that up. Okay. Sorry, I had to cancel a call. I don't think positioning wise you could have done a whole lot better. I think like maybe you could have taken a couple more of those like off angles, like I mentioned when I paused and told you when you went that left side on second point. I think that kind of stuff can work really well. It's hard to do that on third because it's really linear, and if you take that top right, you kind of need your Mercy to go with you because it's just kind of an awkward scenario. So I think third it would have been a little bit harder. Second, probably just more left side a little bit. First point is kind of similar. Like it's hard on these escort maps because a lot of them are real linear. There's not like a lot of different ways you can go. But yeah, that second one's probably the most open. Just kind of taking those off angles. But no, I don't think you positioned poorly at all. This is where I think I want to talk about positioning more. So I don't mind this aggressive angle here. I think this is fine to do this. I do it quite often. But you do want to be careful, especially when you see that they have a Widow, that you're not like, like peeking to be in her sight line. So like you notice how you're like kind of walking out to the right as you're like shooting at that Ashe and like peeking back. That's good, but if they have the Widow, if she starts hitting shots, like it's going to be a little scarier. There were a couple times where you did directly like peek her, and that's something you got to worry about. And I think another thing, it is completely okay to play here, but you do want to back up sooner. Like as soon as they start putting pressure on your team, you want to make sure you back up to that high ground. Nice job on the Mercy. Basically, like don't peek a diva or don't peek a Widow in order to shoot a diva that's not about to be demeched. Like that's kind of what I mean by like that peeking out to the right and stuff. Or even an Ashe, Ashe or Hanzo, like if you're not shooting at them, there's no reason to necessarily peek them. Like right here, that's fine. You're peeking that Ashe, completely okay. This right here is where you want to maybe start backing up looking for high ground because your tank's half, you get low, you want to probably set up on the high ground here because they're going to get that card around the corner here inevitably. Whereas here, like this diva is just like you're outplaying her because she's just not good. Whereas if you're on the high ground, like she can't outplay you. Like there's no opportunity for her to. And when your team starts ulting and stuff, you can walk forward with it. But starting on that high ground is a good way to go about it. I think if as soon as they get that card around the corner like that. Now they did swap to counter your Zarya, so in this scenario, similar thing. You want to be backing up soon. Yeah, so I wrote in my notes about this, Bob. I think it's fine to Bob here at this time. I would have definitely waited until they got a little bit closer, because you want to be able to follow up on the Bob, right? Like, you want to throw Bob into a group of them like this, and they turn around to shoot at Bob, or they don't turn around to shoot at Bob, they focus on you. One of the two needs to happen. They need to focus on one, right? And the other one has to do damage from behind, right? That's what you want to do. You want Bob to create that chaos. When Bob is far away like this, or like far from like your Zarya, or far from like the people on your team who can do damage, that makes it harder for Bob to then get value. And then the other thing too is the Bastions and turret modes. You definitely want to wait out turret mode. But yeah, just try and use Bob like I think ideally, I'll go into third person for this so I can see. Ideally, like if the Ryan starts pushing up, they get into like this space at this corner. That's when you want to toss Bob like here-ish, right? Because if Bob's around here and they're at that corner, there's no way that they can turn for Bob and not get beamed by Zarya and Sim. They get absolutely beamed if they turn for Bob, and if they don't turn for Bob and shield the turrets and the beams. Then Bob's gonna wreak havoc in the back line. You can follow up quite a bit of damage. You just toss dynamites and stuff. So that would probably be ideal. Alright, so let's go back. But yeah, see how Bob got melted so quick there? That's just not ideal for Bob. It's funny you're saying. Again, you want to back up sooner here. Try to toss dynamite above Ryan's shield. I think right there you might have been thinking like, oh, his shield's low, we can break it. But there were a couple times where I noticed you could have probably made it above his shield and get that extra bit of damage. So as soon as you see your Zarya dying as well, dip out. Just completely leave as soon as you possibly can. Ideally on this map, like your whole team should kite to this corner sooner than they did, and your Zarya got punished for it, obviously. But you need to leave like instantly. You don't die here. There's no reason for you to die here. You definitely could have got out. I think you get a big pick onto Moira here. Huge pick. Unfortunately, your team C9s this. I'm not sure what yours are either doing. In this comp again, like so you want to be like looking to throw that dynamite onto Bob as much as possible. They're not Bob. Sorry, Bastion as much as possible. Obviously, like if you hit a bunch of people, that's ideal. But Bastion's gonna be that main target. You want to tick down that armor, right? So like you can kill him quickly, because he's gonna be like a big target for you guys to try and kill, because he just melts right through your Zarya. You know, you are realistically the best pressure onto him here. So try and get those dynamites onto him as much as possible. They used a bunch of ults, so that's cool. This Bob, just the fight was over. Obviously, it wasn't a great Bob. Also, make sure you don't stagger yourself. So, like the Bob wasn't great, right? But this is like very bad staggering, like I mentioned earlier. There was no way you were getting out of this. You just want to run to cart and die as soon as possible. If Bob isn't on cart like that, you just need to make sure you die in cart as soon as possible. Your team decided to use all their ults after that, so that was crazy. But I'm sure they got play of the game, so that's cool, I guess. So here, I really think that, so you went out to the side there to, you know, do some stuff and get some damage out early. I think even with your team holding out here, like they shouldn't be holding out here, but even with them holding out here, as a hit scan, like I'm always going to position right here. You have like such good cover. Your head's the only thing showing. You know, you got like a good angle of that doorway. If they push in through that door, like it should not go well for them. Whereas here, like it's going to require you to hit all of your shots and them to also not look at you for it to like get value. Again, like I know your team's positioned poorly, so it's like mostly on them, but yeah, I don't think this one was the call. And your team does end up backing up, and they just kind of leave you because there's nothing else for them to do. Pressure from that high ground is going to be a lot nicer. Similarly here, once this cart runs the corner, I know at this point like we aren't sure, but you want to make sure you walk to that top left high ground. you know, either conk up there or walk up the stairs when you come out of spawn on the left. Playing up here would be really good. If you can't, like, you know, if they start pushing you back, that's completely okay. Just make them look at you. You can back up around here, and then for the final point, you're going to have a crazy high ground. If you're up here and they don't contest you from up this way, you're going to have such a big advantage. So definitely want to be on that high ground here as well. And there wasn't really much else this round either. So we go to OT. Yeah, mainly just the positioning on that one. You know, I like the early aggressive positioning, but you want to be careful with the Widow, and definitely back up to the high ground sooner. Honestly, like, all the points could be fair for that. On second point, so this I can't get into third person without being in the round. On second point, you know that little like high ground tent looking thing? That's a like play because I like to play as Ashe as well. If you like, you guys didn't have a great setup for it, but if you ever get the chance, and I'll show it on later in this. If you get the chance to set up there, it's a really good place to set up. It's hard to push you. Good kill on Ashe. This was great. Nice push. Good try onto the Pharah. It's gonna be hard to dive Pharah here though. Kiri saved you big time. That was nice. So it is comp obviously, and it's just like, you know, it's kind of like a joke. When you're like you know, like shaking your head at the Mercy to not res here, although you didn't cost anything on your team because, like, you know, the Mercy didn't get the res, you're denying res. If you and your tank push up here and try and kill the Mercy or whoever, or, you know, at the very least, like, try and pressure them further back, you guys definitely don't struggle as hard as you did to, like, get this point.
I could have just dashed straight to the Mercy here.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to like put more pressure on them here. You and your tank. It's not just you. But like the Mercy definitely like could die here between you and your tank. Like she should die here. And I think that not happening allowed them to get back into this fight and make it a possibility for them to you know, hold this. They weren't really coming up on any ults yet, so like I think if you guys get that kill, you guys probably steamroll a good portion of this point. Because she has the Valk, she doesn't die, unfortunately. This is a good pressure on the Mercy. Unfortunate C9, you know. Like I said, you know, your team needs to be on point there. That's not your job to like be touching point by any means. But I think if you guys kill that Mercy, or even you pressure the Mercy if your tank's going to be stupid, I think that you guys probably are able to clean up that fight pretty easy, or easier at least.
Systems calibrated for maximum cooperative behavior. Whatever awaits us, I am prepared. Ascending. Right by you. Many thanks. 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, so I think you do quite a good job of pressuring the Pharah. Similarly, the sticky thing here, so I think you do get eaten a couple times, but pretty much, unless she's the only one left, or like, you know, you're just very much poking, pretty much never shoot stickies at Orisa. Like if she's hardcore feeding, you know, she can die, like that's when you would shoot them. But like you gotta really look for the targets in the comps like these. Like Bastion needs to be stickied almost every time, unless, you know, you're pressuring the Pharah, which you do a good job of here. You pressure the Pharah quite well. So it's going to be like Bastion, Pharah, and Mercy are pretty much the only people you're ever going to shoot stickies at here, unless you're cleaning up a fight or, you know, hardcore poking. Yeah. Yeah, like Echo is, it's such a, like I'm a hit scan player more so when I play DPS, and I love playing Echo too, but Echo is so good into Pharah. It's such an underrated counter. When I'm playing Pharah and I have an Echo come into me, like I just like, I'm more scared of a Pharah than I am of a hit, or of an Echo than I am of a hit scan on Pharah, because you have to like really respect it. If they get aggressive and have a Mercy, for God's sakes, oh, you're done. I think you could finish her with Beam there, but it is what it is. This is a good finish. Be careful. This was minor positioning thing. Like I said, you know, it's easy to get out of position with Echo, even though I think your position was quite good. When you went forward to finish that Pharah, you did great at finishing her, but you did leave yourself quite exposed. So if Bastion got the idea to look at you there, you could have died to that. And then again, you know, save those stickies for Bastion instead of the Orisa. Like right now would be a time that you could maybe sticky the Orisa and kill her when she was really low like that, but even then it's okay if you don't. I like the pressure on Pharah. That was great. Big stop from Orisa. Good team finish. That was a good team fight. They swap the Echo. Good copy. Realistically, so like if I'm copying a Pharah, like that was the great save, right? Like you did that to save yourself. I would be careful with when and if you do barrage ever, because Pharah barrage obviously isn't good to begin with, but on the Echo, you're coming out of it less health than you'd want, and you kind of want to use it like way more defensively than you would if you were actually playing Pharah. So like poke like this, great, but make sure that like you're able to get out right here. So like you get out because they stop shooting at you, whereas like, you know, if they hit shot at you there, like you probably die instantly out of that. So maybe back, like conk back as you get it and use it more defensively. That probably would win the play. But you guys did win the fight regardless. It was a good kill. I respect the attempt onto the Pharah, or onto that guy. I respect that. It was almost nice. Pharah unfortunately juked you. Good try on the finish to her. Not sure why you're, what's it called, ulted. Good finish onto Mercy. Yeah, it was just unfortunate. Couldn't find her. Yeah, good finish onto the Mercy. And I think that was it. You guys don't really get another big fight out of this. We'll watch this a little bit still. That was a good finish. This was absolutely tragic that 3 of your team members died to that, and you're in copy, so it makes a little more sense, but that was tragic. And yeah, that was it. Unfortunate. I'm gonna end the stream now so we can talk.